You're not rocking with ParadoxTV. I'm with the homie, Super O, Omar McCallop of the Carolina Music Awards. And I just want to ask you a few questions that the fans, the artists, and myself want to know about you per se. How did you get involved with the Carolina Music Awards and why? What was your main reason for that?
You know, I tell people this all the time. It was a very simple process, really. You know, me and some of my other associates, I guess, in the music industry, we're just kind of looking at different markets, looking at Atlanta, looking at New York, looking at Texas and Florida, and these different regions that had, you know, flourishing music markets. And then we said, okay, what do these markets have that, you know, is missing in the Carolinas? And I mean, we came up with a few things, not just award shows, but we, you know, once we did that research, we said, you know, DJ strength. In a lot of these other markets, they're DJ crews, you know, core DJs, hitman DJs. There's a lot of DJ crews that are super active in pushing music, and we didn't feel, even though there's a lot of strong DJs in the Carolinas, there was not a DJ crew, so to speak, whose sole purpose was to bring music. And this is a while ago. This music we're talking, you know, 4 or 5 years ago at this point. But at that time, there was absolutely none. Now, some DJ crews have come along and done a lot more. Fleet DJs being one of those crews who have become active in the Carolinas to push independent artists. But 4 or 5 years ago, you know, that just wasn't the case. So it's better now, but it's not where it should be. So that was one of the things that we saw. Another thing that we saw was the radio stations were not supporting independent artists in the Carolinas. Like I go to different markets all the time, Atlanta being one of them. And you know, when I go to Atlanta and have my radio on, I can listen to the radio for 4 or 5 hours and hear music that I've never heard before from an independent standpoint, and music that is just, you know, Atlanta/Georgia music. So that was another thing that we saw that was different in major markets. That's different in the Carolinas, where, you know, independent and local music or statewide music just wasn't getting that radio support. And the third thing that we recognized was there was no award shows that honored, highlighted, supported, talked about, or did anything really with Carolina music in all genres, hip-hop, R&B, rock, country. So, you know, we felt like, for us at least, you know, one of the best ways to impact on multiple levels was to produce an award show to acknowledge artists in various genres of music. And so by that, we're able to invite radio people and start to affect that a little bit. We're able to invite and have an award for DJs and support that a little bit. So out of the 3 things that we found, I guess, quote unquote, missing in the market, we felt like an award show could, to some degree, affect all of those things and try to bring people together in one. So that is kind of how we end up doing the award show. We felt like, you know, that's something that we knew that we could do on a production side, and it would affect, on different levels, some of the challenges that we saw in Carolina music.
Definitely. What do you say to the fans and the artists that use politics to get, you know, to get a job, you know, to get money and to win whatever award, and then turn around and dish your award show because they may think that politics are involved?
You know, I don't know what to say to that. People are going to always have a reason or excuse or a problem for something, you know. It just what it is. I think earlier when we started, it was very frustrating because anybody that knows me know that I'm a straight shooter across the board. I don't have any, it's good and bad. I don't have a necessary, you know, relationship with any particular one that would affect the award shows. For us, it's across the board, as fair as it could possibly be. Even I've worked with probably 2 to 3 artists personally. My personal company has worked with about 2 or 3 artists in the market. And the very first thing I do when an artist is contract for us to do their marketing, branding, and promotion, the first thing I do is ban them from the at the very gate. Hey, and I let them know if you decide to hire us to do your marketing, brand, and business development, you cannot win an award. Period. So beyond that, these other links that people try to link us to and say, hey, we're friends with that person or we're friends with this person, that those individuals don't have any effect on our company. So there's no reason for us to, have some type of political ties to them. That doesn't make sense. It's kind of like if they were paying us or if they were doing something for the company, then it would be logical for us to try to edge them into the winner's circle. But, these individuals don't understand business. Politics is like, okay, if X person wins, then I get this amount of money or I get this type of benefit. If there's no benefit to the person winning, then that aids the whole reason or rationale for politics. So a lot of these people, I don't think they fully understand what it means for any award show or our award show. I can't speak for anybody else to be politically based. I think that's just a buzzword that people that don't know any better or don't know the definition of what it means to throw around. And then the weird thing for me is some of the people who have won earlier in the award show history, first and second year, and then as time goes along, then they don't win. It's funny because when people were winning, other people accused us of having a relationship with them. So then when these individuals that we were supposed to have a relationship with in the first and second year of the award show, when they, I guess down the line, didn't win anymore, then they accused us of having a relationship with some of the new people that win it. And I'm like, come on guys, that's just ridiculous out of circle. But people I just think that some people are frustrated. I think, music is a very, very hard business. And it's easy to get frustrated and tired, when you're pushing and pushing and pushing. You're being respected or honored for your craft and for your work. And I think people just need somebody to lash out at. And, sometimes the person that they lash out at is the award show. I had somebody say, I had someone say, well, why this person that won your awards don't have a record deal yet? That's insane. An award show no award show on the face of the planet goes out and say, okay, you won our award, so now we're gonna go out and get you a record deal. That's idiotic. I'm like, what are you talking about? Now have some of the people, Tammy Davis, New Blue, some of the other individuals that won the award show, have they gone on to get deals? Sure, but I would like to think that we were maybe a small part of that. They used us for promotion, maybe. We sent their stuff out and got them some interviews on some country radio, et cetera, et cetera. They used our brand to further promote themselves, and we in turn did the same in a collaborative effort. But we no more than we're responsible for them getting a label deal or a deal that they have. By the same token, we're not at fault if somebody doesn't get a deal. So I know, it's a wild, mentality. But like I said, some people will get it and some people won't. I think that over our 5 years, not only with the 5 years that we have in the bag, but the acceptance that we've gotten from other markets, other major markets, other internationally known music brands of what we're doing, for us, that is, I think that proves our case. So at this point, we produce the award show. We try to support and work with people that want to work with us. And some people get it, some people don't. I think that's really what it is at the end of the day. And that's okay for the people who don't think that the awards works for them, or they don't think that it's a platform that can benefit or help them. That's okay, because it's not for everybody. And Jay-Z said, it's not for everybody.
Definitely. That's a nice segue into the next question. What are your criteria of winning a CMA? And if a producer, artist, a videographer, or whatever talent that a person has is talented and really grinding, and their business numbers and quality is good, a lot of people want to know, why shouldn't they get nominated as opposed to have a vote off?
Well, the criteria is really simple. It's 50% voting and 50% industry panel. We looked at a lot of different award shows, from People's Choice Awards to the Grammys. We looked at a lot of systems, and for what we were trying to accomplish, and for this market, we figured that a 50-50 situation was better. If you have really good music and have no fan base at all, in our opinion, that's problematic. There's a lot of good music that goes unheard, and especially in today's day and age, it's extremely important that you understand or you know how to develop a fan base, because record labels aren't developing fan base artists anymore. They want artists to come to them with some type of fan base. So we felt like just quality music wasn't enough to win or to be a criteria alone for CMA or CM Award. And then also we felt like on the other side of the coin that obviously just votes and popularity is not enough for an award, because you can be super popular and people vote for you all day and night, mother, brother, and sister, and you can have horrible music. So that's no good either. We feel like the music and the entertainment industry at this day and age is more of a balance. You need a fan base and you need quality music. So you need to have a good balance over both of those areas. Obviously there are some people that feel like, hey, my content or what I do is quality in and of itself and should be instantly nominated. In some cases that's true, but I always tell people that's not this award show. This award show doesn't do instant nomination. That was a decision that we made a long time ago. And there are approximately 3 award show systems. There is the Grammy system, which you have to be a member of that organization. You pay dues, you have to have published music to whatever their criteria is, but most of all, you have to be a good standing member with the Academy or what have you, and pay your dues on time, and then you get a vote. That's one system of award shows. And then from that, they decide who instantly among their populace gets to be nominated. And then they vote on it. So they pull instantly. Another system is the People's Choice system, where it's public nominations. What we've done is we've went in the middle of both of those. Are both in all systems valid? Sure. We just don't have a system to where we say, you know what, I think this person's stuff is good, so they're going to be instantly nominated. We don't do that. One of the reasons is because it becomes subject to everyone's opinion. Everyone's, like, I have a person say, yo, I got 1 million iTunes sales, so I should be nominated. Another person says, yo, I'm good in the streets, people love me in the streets, so I should be nominated. Another person says, hey, I've got spins at these 3 radio stations, so I should be nominated. For us, that system has too much leeway. And like I said, all of these systems are different and they have their ups and downs. None are perfect. Ours isn't perfect. The Grammy system isn't perfect. The 100% vote-only system is not perfect. None of them. We chose that system because we felt like it was the most balanced for what we are trying to accomplish, and that's just really it. That's pretty much it. We feel like that's the best one for us, and we go in that direction. No person whose work is, I know some people that I feel like their work is amazing. I love their work, I watch it, I listen to it on my own. I have like videographers that I love to work with. I have models that I love and think are great. I have different people's music, nominees and non-nominees that I listen to on my personal stuff, but that has nothing to do with our system. Our system is 2 things, always has been. Popular vote, ranking by our panel. If you don't have a strong enough fan base that is willing to go and nominate you, then it's going to be difficult for you to win a Carolina Music Award in our system. Other award shows, maybe they measure street buzz, or maybe they measure, hey, your work is good. That person and their 4 or 5 committee members may say, you know what, this person's work is good, we're going to nominate it. I don't know if those systems exist as far as the other award shows in Carolina. I don't think they do, but I'm not certain. I just know that that's not our system. We don't have your work is good, so we are going to instantly nominate you. That's not our system.
Definitely. And speaking from your personal opinion or fact, what do you like and don't like about this market as it pertains to music? And you can touch on different genres, because of course, like another genre would be different of if you're not talking about hip hop, or you're talking about R&B, or you're talking about rock and country. That they're going to be different like feelings about them. So what do you feel as pertains to, you know, since I'm an urban or a hip hop artist, what do you feel about this market as it pertains to R&B and hip hop? What are your likes and not likes?
Speaking personally, you know, this is challenging because a lot of times people mix, you know, my personal feelings with the award show.
Yeah.
And I can't stress enough that they are separate and apart. I go strictly by the data and the rankings of, you know, our panel when it comes to the award show. So I want to be super clear on that. But me personally, I think that Carolina music is absolutely incredible in all genres. And if you look historically, we've never had a problem with the music. If you look, there's musicians out right now with major artists. I know musicians that are out right now with Beyonce from Carolina, that are out right now with Lady Gaga. Anybody that you can name nationally that's doing music, they're Carolina musicians and people involved with their product. So we've never, all the way, no matter how far you want to go back, even with the Carolina Music Awards, you know, Randy Travis is a part of our founding committee. Roberta Flack is a part of our founding committee. So we've never had a problem with the music. We can create incredible music in this market. I think what this market is not savvy about is the business of music. I think that's where, you know, we miss out a lot of times, and we are too focused on other smaller things and not focused on the business of music at hand. That's my major challenge or issue with this market, and I think it's the most prevalent in hip hop. You know, I watch, you know, rock is big in Carolina. You don't really hear a lot of rock artists having some of the issues and challenges that they go and do their thing. You don't really hear a lot of the country artists having, you know, every market has artists that, you know, have challenges and frustrated, but, you know, for the most part, the country artists go do their thing. The rock artists go do their thing. I think some of the challenge is with the R&B and hip hop artists. I don't know why. Even R&B to a certain point. You know, you go back to Casey and JoJo, you go to Anthony Hamilton, you go to Sunshine Anderson, you go to a lot of artists who've done well on that side, probably more than I'm even named, Tony Terry. That it just seems to, you know, it starts on that side, and then hip hop seems to have, you know, the most challenge coming out of this market. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but I do, for what I see that genre of music, until I've seen a lot of growth, but it's not as focused on the business side of everything that goes on in the music industry. And I think that is what I think that's the problem. It's not quality of music. I've heard straight bangers on a regular basis in this market from hip hop music. You know, it's just that, and we've seen people that have opportunities. We all know a few people who've had deals on the hip hop side with different labels and sub labels, and did not work out. And you know, some of those I think is management and going back to business. They got music, you know, that I love. And when they got the deal, I was like, okay, cool. Let's see how they're going to handle the business side of it, because the music wasn't a problem. I just feel like they didn't handle the business side well, and you know, right now, you know, where they're at. So when we go into hip hop, we only can name really a couple of people that have done it on a national scale. You know what I mean? Some people have gotten some label opportunities, but I can really only think of a couple who are without a doubt seen nationally or internationally as, you know, hip hop artists from the Carolinas or North Carolina in this case, and you know, even South Carolina too. But so I think it's the business side that I think that we have to catch up on a little bit, or either getting people to handle the business for you who are qualified and connected. That's where I think the next step has to come. And I see a lot of it. A lot of the stuff that you're doing is very creative on the marketing and the business side to develop your brand and to develop people knowing who you are, and then having that segue into like, okay, cool, I know who this guy is, I see him working, I see all these other things, and I'm going to listen to his music. Oh, okay, cool, I like his music also, and all of that comes together, so now you have a fan and the development of a fan base. I think that a lot of times in this market we focus on like, yo, I'm hot, my music's good, that should be enough. That's not how it works. Like I said, I hear a lot of incredible music, but if you don't put all the pieces together of that puzzle, you're going to be a hot artist with hot music in this area. That's what you're going to be, and it'll stop there. But you got to put together all the pieces of the puzzle. And a major part of that puzzle, maybe even 80 to 90% of that puzzle, is the marketing, branding, business development, the business side. And when I'm traveling in other markets, I feel like that they just have a better handle on that side of it. And because they've seen it